Let's do the papers. Thank you for joining us. If you're picking up a daily this morning, we've got a list of the headlines you should be looking out for. And of course, Mary's joining me in on this one. Hopefully, we're going to rein her in so she doesn't get too emotional about the dailies. So.
Really, Maz. Really.
Let's talk the news. Start from the Punch newspaper this morning. We've got these headlines. PDP, Atiku said to clash with G5 over Tambuwal. And it goes on, Atiku, a party man, will back PDP choice, says aid as minority leader emerges July 4. And of course, G5 backing Jerry Bay, Autumn's aid, insists lawmakers want PDP on Sokoto ex-governor. Let's move on now to the top of the paper where we have these headlines here. Buhari hands over 974 billion naira uncompleted road project, and World Bank OK's first $500 million loan for FG. Now, the big one for this morning, which is what everybody's very concerned about, is this headline here on the Punch. Disco's backtrack on tariff hike await NERC approval. Is this good news for you?
So it's actually two sides because tariff hike has been ongoing for a while. So up until last year, when the tariff is about to be hiked, Nigerians get it as newspaper headlines. You're about to pay more for electricity. Then towards the end of last year till now, it's just been minimal. Just you go to buy your electricity units, and then you realize that this is more expensive now. This is more expensive now. But you see, because this one was going to be huge, they decided to come out again and say, 40% hike, oh, no more subsidy, yada, yada, yada. Did they not know they were to wait for NERC approval before?
Exactly. This was by the AEDC, if I'm not mistaken, the initial announcement. But the NERC has said, in fact, no, they came out themselves to tell that, okay, hang on, disregard the formal announcement. We're still waiting for the NERC to actually give us a thumbs up on this one. So maybe that's a bit of relief. But at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, it's still going to go up. Because apparently they're trading at the former amount for the Naira against the dollar, which was 480, I think. Right now at 750. Something's got to give, whether we like it or not.
I hear it's going to be as high as 300 Naira per kilowatt.
Let's not start any panic now.
Do you know what 300 Naira per kilowatt means? It means that when you buy electricity units of 9,000 Naira, all you get is 30 kilowatts.
Yeah. Can you break that down?
Okay, so
how many
for
days
now,
of
when you buy 10,000 Naira, there was a time you get 74. Now you get about 71. And I hear it's going lower every now and then. But imagine, instead of getting 74, as used to be the case, you are now getting maybe 33.
That's half. That's less than half.
Exactly. So that's
so we might be paying twice as much.
Reality.
Well, that reality is rather grim, but it might happen. So brace yourselves is what we hear. Even if there has been a recant on the announcement that was made from before, the NERC will still come up, perhaps, is what's been speculated to give maybe, there have been other subsidy arrangements that are being made regarding the sufferings we're going on, but I think we're going to meet that in other dailies. What do we have next, please?
So we have the Vanguard newspaper, and it says, Forex challenge driving petrol price towards 581 Naira per litre. First deliveries of one PLC and Dover, others to arrive mid-July. Marketers say logistics of bringing products complex. No fixed price at depot, and that's coming from Dapman. Now, we will talk about that, but let me just touch on some other things. Of course, Salah, federal government has declared Wednesday, Thursday public holidays. NAF appoints, redeploys 98 officers of air rank. Here we also have, I delayed petrol subsidy removal to allow Tinubu APC win polls coming from former President Buhari. That is also a trending story. People have been talking about the interview he did at the 10 drown as boat capsizes in Akwa Ibom waterways. Here we also see Osimhen beats Mahrez Salah to win Best African International Award. Now let's go back to the Forex challenge, driving petrol price towards 581 Naira per litre. When was the last time you bought fuel?
2 weeks ago. I've been managing thus far, so
2 weeks?
2 weeks ago. So today would make it 2 weeks since. Well, my format is very different from
that's where you've
else's.
been riding.
So that's why I ride.
So apparently, bikes consume less fuel. So if you've been seeing Mazino on the road more on a bike than in a car,
I've
that's
been saving. But this is the thing, I heard it's been reported that marketers are finding it very difficult to actually purchase because of the Forex rates. It's gone up. There's cries for a bit of, and I use this word very, very loosely, a bit of subsidy or maybe in terms of loans for them to be able to actually purchase. Other than that, we're looking at a scarcity, and it's going to be rather big because first off, you have petrol prices at 488 naira. With a scarcity, imagine how much you might be paying for petrol. So if these marketers are unable, the ones that have been given the approval and license to actually purchase and sell, if they're unable to get these products, we're looking at some very, very tough times.
Though. 488 is
Yeah, I'm just giving
just
the benchmark for what
I remember we drove into a fuel station on Sunday, wanted to buy petrol, and they said 500 naira.
Yeah.
Rev did continue that
I've been buying at 500
like
naira. I've just
12 naira extra.
because at the end of the day, if I have a tank of 60 liters, what I've managed to save if I buy at 488 naira is only 300 naira.
Yeah.
I mean, 300 naira is like 50 naira from last year. So I think
It's
I'm
like
gonna let that. Sorry, inflation. It is not actually considering the inflation rate currently, which is affecting everything from food to commuting to fuel. But let's move on now to our next daily, and that is the Daily Trust. This has these headlines here. Big one in front. Unease in FG agencies as management fears sack some chief executives, relocate to Abuja to lobby, and emphasis should be on competence. At the top of the Daily Trust, Kano government stops salaries of 10,800 workers employed by Ganduje and Hajj. Nigerian pilgrims lament tent shortage and poor feeding. Did you see the Instagram post? Was it yesterday of the pilgrims? They are actually going through some very interesting times. This is the biggest Hajj, by the way, as a lot of countries are converging. I think today is going to be one of the biggest activities as they pray and climb Mount Arafat. So I don't know what arrangements have been made for them or what arrangements were made in the beginning that has resulted in what they're facing right now. But it's a yearly thing, and you think that every single year it should get better. Or perhaps maybe the number of people that have visited for this year's Hajj is a bit more, because I hear there's an age restriction that was removed. So elders can now even still attend the Hajj. So you can imagine the strain that will cause on the process.
So just last week, or was it a couple of weeks ago, the National Hajj Commission was revived, so to speak, and people were excited. I saw lots of people misconstruing it, people saying, oh, that means people will be going on pilgrimage for free. It's actually not free.
No, it's not.
When you see these pilgrims go through so much, they are actually paying for these trips. So when they complain about poor feeding, they complain about so many things. They are not complaining because they are getting it free of charge. Payments have been made for these services. As a matter of fact, when you see government sending certain people, it's just a private person sponsoring some individuals. People pay for these pilgrimages, and it's only fair that they get the value for their money, even as you're trying to observe what you believe in religious-wise.
Final paper for this morning is The Guardian. We've touched on most of the headlines that are on the front page for The Guardian about the discos and the delayed removal of petrol subsidy, but this one here is rather grim. It says, bleak festival, Muslim faithfuls groan as subsidy removal squeezes family budgets. It talks about the inability for families to actually purchase what is most needed for it, which is the purchase of rams and livestock. Most livestock markets are rather empty. Marketers have grown over the inability for them to commute because of the high price of commuting their products over to places like in Lagos. Families can't even purchase these things because of their purchasing power has gone down with inflation, I think, in the food sector of 25%. I think so. If you can afford a ram last year, right now your purchasing power is halved.
So I've always believed that the biggest problem we have in this country is transportation. Because any small increments in fuel price, the transport sector goes berserk. They literally just run things the way they want to. And somehow there's that fear that is there regulation. People wonder at it. And at this point, I must say, shout out to all Muslim faithfuls. It can't be easy right now. Having to buy a basket of tomatoes for 25,000 naira is enough to make you not even
mile
want
12
to
price.
The baskets.
That's mile 12 price.
Yeah, 16 to 18.
Then that's a worry.
25,000 naira. That's just one of the many purchases you have to make in the market. Price of rice, price of so many things going through the roof.
One thing the government has done, however, is to ease traffic on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. So for the next 6 days, there will be no constructions. Perhaps that will help people get to where they want to go to be with family for the Eid. Hopefully that brings a bit of solace for you guys. But thank you very much, Mary, for being with me at Papers. That was very enjoyable.